All right, it's the 30th of June, last day of the month, first day of the week. It's NFP week this week. Let's go to the charts in a bit. Just a second. All right, let's start with the calendar. Let's see what we got this week. So today nothing, tomorrow nothing. Wednesday there is some news about 8:15, around 8:15 a.m. EST, and then Thursday is the big one. So Wednesday, Thursday might have some volume. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is a holiday. It's the 4th of July. Friday is a holiday. So it's a shorter week, a longer weekend. So Wednesday, Thursday, we should have some volume, right? But it should have, this week should have some decent volume because it's NFP week, all right? But right today, there is no news at all. So it should be a regular trading day today. Okay, let's take a look at the let's take a look. Let's just go up a time frame. Take a look at the weekly, how the previous weekly candle closed. We closed bearish. Inside this green level, we've had this green level mark for a few days since last week, even before that as well. It's a decision level, that's why I've marked it there in green. It's a decision level on the daily time frame, and even kind of on the weekly as well, right? So we should be pushing up from here. Now, the weekly candle closed above 3265, right? We closed just above 3265. We should push up. Let's take a look at the daily. Um, yeah, so that's a decision level. The reason that's a decision level is that's a drop, 3 basin candles and a rally, and this demand level took out this supply. And price pushed up, took out that supply, and we've come there, so we should push up from here. We should push up. I'm not sure until where, but we should get a push up, right? Maybe back to here, around here, above 3,300, that's possible, or even up to 3,332, right? Let's see. We could get up here. We could get up to this weekly SR level right here, right? Now, on the weekly, last week, we always do a recap. So just as the session starts, I do a recap before we go into drawing zones. So the weekly candle, we predicted how the weekly candle will close. And if you watch the first 10 minutes of Friday's stream or the last 10 minutes of Friday's stream, I kept repeating the same thing throughout the stream. That was the prediction on the weekly candle. And I said the weekly candle is going to close bearish, could be with a smaller wick or a bit of a bigger wick, right? But either way, we're going to, for the weekly candle wick to form, because price is already very bearish, for the weekly candle wick to form, price is going to have to push up. The daily is going to have to push up at the end of the day, right? And I even gave the time when that's going to happen. And I said, that's the trade that I'm going to be taking. If at all I take a trade on Friday, I said these exact same words. If I take a trade on Friday, it's going to be the buys from the zone, from the liquidity candle. And we'll take a look at that in a bit. Yeah, so the daily did push up. We came here, we did push up about nearly 200 pips, 185 pips. In fact, it pushed up further and then it came back down a bit. So let's go to our trading chart. So this was basically the trade. This is a 30-minute time frame. Price came past this liquidity level 3265, that's a weekly SR level. We dipped into the liquidity candle, formed 30 minutes support and a tradable 30-minute bull candle close. Perfect. And I've always said this is the candle to trade. So for me, this is the candle trade. And I've said then you can go to the 15-minute time frame and draw the fib. So this candle took out this low, this candle took out this low. So the fib would be based off this candle, but I've always said if there is a weekly SR level or a psychological round number before the optimal entry, then that's where price is going to come to, and that's exactly what price did. Price came here. I entered exactly at 32.65. I placed a pending order. Stop loss was under here. It was a bit of a wide stop loss, but price pushed up, right? Price pushed up to this 3 RR level. I think I got out around 3276. Yeah, about 115 pips, right? Just about 115. 115, 120 pips. I think I got off at this resistance here, 30-minute resistance, the round number. 3279, yes, 3279 is where I got out. 3279 is there, that's 3279. So that was about 140 pips on that trade, right? So that was the buys that I was looking for in the NY session, and it did play out exactly as we predicted, right? So let's get rid of all of these and start this process again. We've pushed up, we've created, yeah, this is a perfect liquidity grab, liquidity wick, look at that. 260 pip wick to push price up. On the 4-hour, we've created support. We've created support on the 4-hour, clear support, support here. Price can come below that support, by the way. For liquidity, we can come below this. We already have, in fact. We can come a little lower and then begin to push up, right? On the 30-minute time frame, if you look at it just, before we do any analysis, we can see that we created a lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and now we're creating a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, and let's see if we can continue further up. But we might come back to this area before we push up. Okay. All right, let's draw our zones. So prices come past this. We can delete this one. Let's come past this as well. We're still in a bit of a range. Now, what's important to note is how price reacted when it came to the decision level, right? This green area is this green area right here, right? So this low is, what's this low? 55.84, and this is 47.54. Yeah, this was that 30-minute support. Price came, soon as it came, it didn't range, created 30-minute support and a tradable 30-minute bull candle close. Price came back to this, to 3265, tapped it yet again and pushed up, right? So we didn't spend much time here, right? So that is why I think we could continue to push higher. We could go above 3,300 and start even heading higher. All right, let's see where we can get to. Yeah, we could come to 3,300 again. And then after that, we need to see if we're going to get a reaction here to push price down or going to continue higher. All right. Okay, so let's start on with demand. There is a drop, 4 basin candles, and a rally here, right? Start with that. Now that is a reaction to this, and this is a reaction to what happened here on the left. Let's just put a line there so we don't miss that. Yeah. $46.08, 45.53. Yeah, that was the zone. It's on the 15-minute, but there is a zone here. There's a rally. These are all basin candles, and this is the source of this move up, 1,000+ pip move up, and this is the first reaction. This is the first reaction to it. This is the second reaction, and now this is the third reaction, right? That's the source. There's a 15-minute zone here, also visible on the 30-minute, somewhat visible on the 30-minute. Price came there. That's the source. This is the first reaction. We formed 1-hour demand and pushed up. Came a second time and pushed up. That was on Friday. And now we came a third time to 3250, that same area right there to 3250. And we pushed up for the third time, right? I think we're going to continue higher. We're going to come pull back, create support, and then continue to push up. That's the trade that I want to take today, if there's a trade today. All right. Let's get rid of this liquidity candle for now. Bring that down so you don't overlap it, but that's all that's left. Probably about a 5 pips left of that zone. That's it. There's nothing left in that zone. So the new zone is here. Let's look at the new zone on the 1-hour time frame. Yeah, I think we can narrow it down here. Yeah, we've already tapped it. This is better. Drop all basin candles, and this is the leg out. And then a tap, push up, tap, tap. We're coming down, and then we're going to push up, I think. Okay, let's put the numbers on this. 773 and this low 754. Just a second. Yeah. Just want to check if my sound is okay. Yeah. All right. 754. Okay. It's about 300 pips to the downside. Let's just extend this as well. Done. That's for demand. That's a high liquidity candle because we haven't tested yet. It's 1-hour demand. Is it? No, it's not 1-hour demand anymore. It's 4-hour demand. We've created new 4-hour demand here. Sorry. H4 demand. Okay. And we're going to take a look at this new zone and see if it's a high liquidity zone, right? But for now, it's a 4-hour demand zone, a drop, base, and a rally, right? Now let's look at supply. Just save this. Okay. Let's take a look at. Let's take a look at the lower time frame because price. This one we can extend to the right. Price hasn't come there yet. It has tapped there, but we haven't gone through it yet. So the zone is still valid, and so is the liquidity candle there. And we've just tapped the liquidity candle by a few pips. It's still valid. All right. Now, yeah, we should break this low. We should come below this 4-hour low. and then push up. Let's take a look at the 1 hour time frame, because price has there is a zone here, I think, on the 1 hour, the 30 minute, on the 1 hour, yeah, on the 1 hour. And then price has also come to a weekly SR level, and it's formed a base there. So we're going to take a look at that on the 1 hour, maybe even on the 30 minute. Interesting. I'm going to bring this zone, 1 second, yeah. I'm going to bring this zone here. 300 pips. Let's leave it. Let's leave it. We'll find the liquidity candle. Here, there is a base here. Drop. It's a base in candle and a drop. Drop, base, drop. We have to mark that, even though it's ugly. We got to mark that. .30 minute. 448. 884. 48. Okay, that is 30 minutes supply. Yeah. Yeah. I think the rest is fine. Rest is fine. This is a reaction to this. This is the source. Drop, base, drop. This is the first reaction. Price should come break this and come further higher. Let's see. Now here, there's a clear on the 1 hour, a drop, a base, and a rally. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it down to this. I'm gonna bring it down to this because we've crossed a weekly SR level. This is drop, base, rally. There's a zone right there. I'm gonna bring it to that. 460. And it's a 1 hour zone now. Drawing it based on the 1 hour, not the 4 hour. This wick here. Maybe up here. Let me think about this. Tough. There's a lot of ugly candles here. I think I'm going to keep that there. And if we can't take buys here, there's not enough space. We have to take it from here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's bring it down to the 30 minute. Because if I'm taking buys, this is where I want to take the buys from. I don't want to take buys up here to this zone right here. I want to take it from further down as possible. And on the 4 hour, yeah. This is a bit tough. I'm not convinced about it. I'm going to leave it like that. Not convinced about it. Okay, let's extend this to the right. Okay, that's good enough. 500 pips to the upside for supply. All right, done. Let's take a look at this new zone that we have. We have two new zones here, a 4-hour demand zone and this 30-minute zone here, and see if they're high liquidity zones, right? So let's start with demand. That's where price is currently at. Let's start at the 1-hour time frame. We have a supply level here, drop base drop, and price has come and taken out that high. There's also supply here, a drop. All of those are basin candles and a drop, and price is pushed up and taken out those highs, right? So this is a high liquidity zone. I'm going to mark that there. And then the 30-minute zone here, it's taken out this to the left, also making that a high liquidity zone. So price can react here and push further down. But I'd be interested in taking the buys today, not the sells. We have a change of structure. We have high highs and high lows forming. For demand formed here, for support formed twice. Yeah, I'd like to take the buys to push up rather than the sells. Okay, let's take a look at this area and see if we have a liquidity candle. It's a white zone, it's a 300 pip zone. We might have more than one liquidity candle. Let's start with the most obvious one, which is the liquidity wick, right? It's 163 pip wick on the 1-hour time frame from 3250. Let's start with that. Yeah. Let's take a look at the 30-minute time frame. There is this candle, 187. There's this 165. Let's look at the 15-minute time frame. It's 155. Back to this one. Yeah, there's 105. Let's look at the 5-minute time frame. 87. 90. Interesting. Let's go with the 15-minute time frame here. It aligns with the candle on the left as well. 505938. Okay. Yeah, I'd like a further pullback. Not here. Honestly, not here. This is not where I want to take a trade. I really don't want 30-minute support to form here, even though it could. I want price to pull further down and then push up. So we have more profit potential then to 3,300. First to 2,389, then 3,300, and then possibly even higher. Okay, let's take a look at this area. On the 1 hour, there is nothing. On the 30-minute, there is this bear candle right here. Let's go to the 15-minute. Yeah, it's the same candle. And on the 5-minute, that's a candle right there. Let's use the 15-minute. Yeah, we should come down. We should come down. Yeah, there's clean space below this. We should push down. Might get buys later on after NYSE open. 892140. Okay. Right. That's it. That's the analysis. I'm still not very comfortable with this zone. It's a 300 pip zone. Let's see. I might bring it down to the 30-minute. Let's see. If price starts to push down, I might bring the zone down to the 30-minute. Base it of the 30-minute. All right. Let's go to the 50-minute time frame. And my session is just about to open. I always wait for the first 15-minute candle to close before I, look for any setups. So we still have time. Still have about 50 minutes left. We'll take a look at what price has done in the Asian and London sessions. See where the market opened. That's exactly where the market opened here. 3275, 3276, 3275 or 3276. That's the market open. It's market open push. Okay. Price is reacting to this candle right here. 104. This candle. Triple four. This low is 459. Yeah. Reacting to this 30-minute candle. Yeah, this was created in the NY session. We broke close below it, tapped 3250, came back, tapped it. Yeah, this candle makes sense. Yeah, this makes sense. 4444584. Okay. Yeah, we're pushing up, but I want a better pullback. 30-minute support has formed. Yeah, I'd really like a better, more of a pullback. I'd like to see price come break below this low here, then form 15-minute support to push up. That's what I'd like to see. Yeah. All right. So let's take a closer. Let's put the numbers on here first. It's the Asian low, 951. 29. Okay. Right. Let's take a closer look at what price has done in the Asian and London sessions. Right. This is where the market opened. We were bullish. There was price dropped here. There was a liquidity candle here on the left. I showed that at the beginning of the stream when we did the recap. Formed 30-minute support and price came, tapped the level, and price pushed up. And after that, it just ranged, right? We ranged, we formed a liquidity candle here on the way up, and then price just ranged at that liquidity candle. And then the market open here, dropped straight. With the market open, we dropped straight to 3250. With one 30-minute candle, we dropped straight down to 3250. Tapped that, grabbed liquidity, created this massive wick on the 1 hour and on the 4 hour, huge 260 pip wick, and pushed up, closed above, formed 30-minute support. We pushed up back to 3265, closed above, ranged there for a bit. We created the Asian low inside the liquidity candle, pushed up, created the Asian high, pushed back. We are within the EMAs. We are ranging here at this point. Came, tapped the EMAs, pushed, closed above the EMAs, headed back to 3289, closed at it, closed above it, pushed up to the liquidity candle, right? We created the London high. And on the way up, we created the London low when we were ranging here. Pushed up, created the London high, formed 30-minute resistance, right? This is a perfect trade in the London session to trade. 30-minute resistance formed, 30-minute tradable back candle close. price pulled back to the sniper entry. So yeah, we pulled back to the sniper entry and pushed straight down to 3289, and then back to the Asian low. On the way down, created a liquidity candle here, pushed back up to grab liquidity from that liquidity candle. It didn't tap 3289, so grabbed liquidity from the liquidity candle and pushed back down, heading back towards the liquidity candle. We closed below the Asian low. 30-minute candle closed below. Next one closed back above. We should continue. If you reject here at the liquidity candle, we should come down. But I'm not keen on taking those sells for two reasons. A, there is a liquidity candle just here, so this doesn't make sense. If I'm taking sells, I want to take sells from up here, not here, when there is a zone just 60 pips away, right? 50, 60 pips away. There is a zone. If I take a sell here, that's just 56, less than 60 pips away. There's a liquidity candle, so I'm not interested in taking a sell here, neither am I interested in taking a buy here to this liquidity candle, right? If I'm taking sells, it's up here. If I'm taking buys, it's down here. Very straightforward. Buys from here, sells from here, right? So here's what I'm anticipating. Since price has closed below, pre-NY candle has closed below, 30-minute candle has closed below the closed below the London low. It's not the Asian low, has closed below the London low. We should continue further down. We're close below the London low, we should continue further down. Once we continue further down, because I'm not willing to take sells here, even if we are going to come down here, because of this liquidity candle, I'm not taking sells here. Once we come further down, I'm going to wait for support to form. 30-minute support form, or maybe even 15-minute support form, and take a trade to push up. That's a trade. Right here, 30-minute support formed here. This was, we got to ignore this. This is the market open. This one right here formed 30-minute support. This candle is the Asian low. Perfect. We formed 30-minute support. That's full IC market server time 4 a.m. This candle closed at 4:30. That's when this one opened. So 4:15. Let's check. This is the candle close. This candle broke this low. This candle broke this low. Right here. Here. I'll be willing to take buys from here. 3265 or 3264 to head up. Right? That makes sense. I'll be willing to take buys here. I'm going to keep this fib here. $848,951. Okay. Any questions on the analysis, on what I'm looking for, and the trade I'm planning to take today? If you have any questions, you can post it in the chat and I'll answer. Again, I'm not looking to take sells here, even though this is a liquidity candle and it's supply. I'm not looking to take sells here because there's a demand zone right here, so it doesn't make sense. There's not much place to move. I'm not looking to take buys here because there's a supply zone right here. But I'm willing to take buys down here, and I'm willing to take sells up here in this area, 3,300, that area for sells. If 30-minute resistance form and a tradable 30-minute back candle closes, then I'll look to take sells from here because then we have place to move. And I'm going to take buys from here because then we have place to move, right? 160 pips to the liquidity candle, 240 pips to the weekly SR level, and 310 pips to the next liquidity candle, and 350 pips to 3,300, right? So there's place to move. So here's where I'm looking for buys, this area right here. This 30-minute support was formed in the Asian session. That's the Asian low. Price never came to that area. There is the liquidity candle, a weekly SR level, and also price hasn't come to that area. For those three reasons, I'm looking to take buys from here if we get there. So let's see. Once price comes there, I'm going to look at the lower time frame, possibly the 15-minute time frame, to see if support forms. We can take the buys to push up. Okay. The reason I'll look for 15 minutes is because already 30-minute support has already formed, right? We've already formed 30-minute support, but price can easily break this below. It can easily break below this low, right? Push down and create 30-minute support again for price to push up, right? That would be even better if price breaks this low, comes down, creates 30-minute support, and then we take the buys to go up, right? Or I'll even look for 15-minute support if price reacts to 3265 or 3264 or even 3262, anywhere in this area to push up. Okay. Okay, 12 minutes more for the candle to close. I'm doing nothing right here. Yeah, I'm not doing anything right here. This was a great London session trade to take. Came, tapped the liquidity candle here on the left. Perfect. Came, tapped this. 30-minute resistance formed. That's a tradable 30-minute back candle close. And this candle opened at 11, so 15-minute time frame, 10:45. That's this one. This one broke this high. This one broke this high. So this is the most recent low, that broke a previous M15 candle high to this one, to the highest high that broke a previous M15 high, right? So that's how you draw the fib. What is this low? 0.82, and this high is 6.82. 6.82, perfect. Look at that entry right there, with this candle right here, this next 30-minute candle. Perfect entry. Put your aggressive stop loss there. That's about 14 or 15 pips. But your safer stop loss always, 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 safer stop loss is above the liquidity candle high. Now, you don't need to keep a fixed stop loss there. You've seen how I do it on the streams. I have that stop loss, but I manage risk. I find levels, 15-minute support resistance levels to manage risk, right? So 3,300 is a lower time frame resistance level, and even one here, right here, 3,296. 3296 is also a level, right? But price tapped there and pushed straight down. I think we should be coming further down. 200 pips, we should come further. Yeah. Yeah, as I said, I'm looking for buys from here, from this area, or sells from up here. Sells from up here or buys from down here. Closer to 3265 for buys, closer to that area for buys, and closer to 3,300 for sells. And the candle confirmations that I want to see is 30-minute resistance here and a tradable 30-minute bear candle close to take the sells to come down. And for buys, I would like to see 30 minutes support and a 30-minute tradable bull candle close, or 15 minutes support and 15-minute tradable bull candle close to take buys to go up. And the reason I'm willing to look for on the 50-minute time frame instead of the 30 here, I'll be glad if, I'll be more comfortable if there's a 30-minute support for me, but I'm willing to wait for 15-minute support is because we have a tradable candle here that formed 30-minute support that price hasn't come and touched yet. It hasn't come to this candle yet. So we could come to this candle, then get a reaction to push up. Pushing up, but no bottom wick on this candle. Yeah, I'm not interested in this area. I'm very clear about that. I'm not interested in this area because the EMAs are moving sideways. They're parallel to each other, which means price is ranging, right? That's the first reason. Second reason, there is 3289 here. Right? That's a weekly SR level. Price is just a few pips under that, just 25, 30 pips under that, right? So I'm not interested in taking buys anywhere here. And then I'm not interested in taking sells here because we have a liquidity candle right here, right? 100 pips you can, but can take sells, but it's going to be short, might be short-lived. 100 pips, I don't know. You're getting a reaction right now. Hmm. 884564. Perfect. Tap. Push down. Could we continue? Yeah, I might be willing to take a sell here. Yeah, I'm willing to take a sell here to push down. Let's see. Very small position. Stop loss there, about 40 pips. Let's take a sell. Let's take a sell. Yeah, let's take a sell. To come down here. It's about 100 pips. What I would prefer is the buys to push up. But here we have a liquidity candle. Price has reacted. This 30-minute candle has reacted to 3289. And that was well before pre-NY. But we need to come down. This is the 4-hour candle open. There's no bottom wick and price hasn't tapped that yet. This candle also has no bottom wick. We should get a reaction here to come down. Let's see. And tapped here perfectly. Perfect tap, 3287.24 or 25. Drop 30 pips. Stop loss about 40 pips. Yeah, taken sells here. If it comes further up, I'll take another sell. That would have been the ideal entry. It would have been a much tighter stop loss, 17 pip stop loss, but it's a little too late. A little late. Little late. Entry should have been here, not down here. See if you can get down here. So, TP levels. Okay, so TP levels here would be 1. That's about 100 pips. This open right here, 32.74. 32. This is low. Yeah, 32.74. 32.74 would be the first. If you get there, that's 100 pips. Yeah, just over 100 pips. And the next one, 32.65, 66. Yeah, 32.66. That's a 1.8. That's about 180. Let's see if we can get there. So 100 pips here, 180 pips here. Stop loss is about 40 pips. 40 to maybe even here. I might even close here. 30. Let's say 30, 30, 35 pips. Because there is clear resistance there. Yeah, clear resistance there. So this is 32.88. Mm-hmm. 32.88. Yeah, perfect. 32.88 is perfect. Yeah, 32.88. Fantastic. 32.88 is it's a bull candle. We should come above this. Might take another entry. Let's see. 85. This is a tight stop loss, 35 to 40 pip stop loss on these trades. This one is even less. This one is like maybe like 12 pips. Anticipating price to come down. Let's see. If we break this high, then I'm closing everything, right? Then we're coming up here. We're coming back to the liquidity candle. It needs to respect this high, stay below 3289 to continue down. If it breaks the high, then this setup is invalid. Then it's coming up here. And I'll be looking here for 30-minute resistance to form to take the sells to come down. I'm not very comfortable. Honestly, I'm not very comfortable with this trade. So it would have been better to wait for 15-minute resistance to form to take the sells to come down. There's a candles closing against the sells. It would have been better to wait for 15-minute resistance and then take the sells to come down. I think we're coming up. Yeah, we're coming up. We're coming up. Let's see. If we break this high, I'm closing. 3288.84. 3288.84. Push straight up. I'm gonna close. Yeah, we're coming up. $88.14. I'm going to close a couple of positions here. Once we break this 15-minute, this 5-minute high. Once the candle breaks, the next candle breaks this high, I'm going to close. There we go. Close 2 positions. So about 30 pips stop loss on those 2 trades. I'm holding this one here. I'm going to wait for the candle to close now. If you break this high, I'm going to close everything, but I'm going to wait for the 15-minute candle to close before I close further positions. But if price pushes up, this candle pushes up and breaks this high, then I'm closing everything. Seems like that's going to happen. See how the 15-minute candle is going to close. It might pull back to create a wick for the next candle to break the high and continue higher. Very likely that's what's happening. Yeah, stop loss on this one is about 11 pips, 12 pips, 35 pips. Previous 2 trades I closed here. That was about 29, 30 pips. Stop loss on that. Yeah, about 35 pips each. It's not bad. Yeah, we're coming up. We could come up here again. Very possible. It would have been better to wait for 15-minute resistance to form and then look for a sell. Not to take, yeah, there we go. We broke the high. Closing, closed everything. This last trade was about 11 pip stop loss. Yeah. The other one below that was about 30 pips, 35 pips. Yeah, that's fine. Great risk management. We're coming further up now. Coming further up. "30-minute support formed here, 1430. This one opened at 15. Yeah, 15-minute candle closed bullish. It's very likely that we're going to continue higher. Pull back and then continue higher. Just have to wait. I was not willing to take buys here to this liquidity candle, even though we could push higher. The only reason I took sells from here, deep here, very close to this 3289, was because there was a distance to move. There was enough space to move to the liquidity candle, which was about 100 pips or 110 pips away. Anyway, we're going to wait for the 15-minute candle to close. I'm not going to do anything. We'll wait for the 15-minute candle to close. 13 minutes more for the 15-minute candle to close. We're going to wait for that. I'll be back in a bit. Still trying to push up. Go past this. We're closed above here. Create a bottom wick and then continue higher. We'll have to see when price gets here to this level if we are going to get a reaction or we're going to push down now. I'm waiting for the 15-minute candle to close. Yeah, I'm going to wait for the 8 minutes more for the candle to close. Wait for the candle to close before I decide to do anything. We should come down. Technically, we should come down before we continue higher. Coming down now. Anyway, I'm going to wait for the candle to close. Yeah, 7 minutes more. It's best to wait. We're dropping now. Came back into profit. We're going to wait for this 15-minute candle to close. I'm not going to do anything until it closes. Let's see where the candle closes. If it closes bearish like this, then yeah, then we can look to take sells. I can look to put that risk back on. The trades that I closed, I can look to reopen them. But we're dropping. Nice 50 pip drop. Wow. Nice. Break this low, I'm going to take one. I'm going to take an entry here. Break this low. 358. Break this low, 83.58, I'll take an entry. Anticipating the 30-minute candle, the 15-minute candle to close bearish, and the 30-minute candle also to close bearish. Three minutes more for the 30-minute candle to close. So waiting for price to break this low. If it breaks this low, I'll take it. Then we can anticipate the 15-minute and the 30-minute and yeah, the 15 and the 30 to close bearish. Let's see. Yep, there we go. Entered sells there on the break. Now I'm anticipating the 50-minute to close bearish and the 30-minute to close bearish with the break of that last of the last 5-minute candle that broke this. And the 1-hour candle has no bottom wick, so we should come down. Let's see. A minute and a half more. See where this candle closes. 83. Two 274. We're coming down. Ooh. 30-minute candle is bearish. Close in bearish. $153. Let's see how much wick it's going to leave for the next candle to fill. It needs to leave a decent wick for the next candle to trade into. We're rejecting 32.89. Let's see. Needs to leave a wick so that the next candle can pull back up and then break the low and continue down. Yeah, we broke the low already. $3,274. That's where I'm anticipating price to come to. It's about a 90-100 pip move. What's this high? This high is 901. This high is 891. 901, 153. Let's see if you can come there. Second chance on these sells. 30-minute candle closed bearish, forming resistance from 3289. It's 30-minute tradable back candle close. Can we come down here? It's about a 100 pip move. If you can get down there. This is the Asian high, close below it. If you can come down here, here, and then here. Let's see. Risk management is the same level, 3289. Yeah, 3288, 3289. Okay, so I'm going to end the streams in a bit. I've taken sells. Idea is that we're coming prices to come down before we start to go up. Maybe we go up today, later on towards after NYSE open or towards the London close, price starts to pull back and go back up. But I'm looking for sells here because that's a liquidity candle. Price is reacted to 3289, 30-minute resistance formed, tradable 30-minute back candle closed. Looking for the sells to come down here, first to 3274 and then around 3266 or 3265, right? If you can get there. We closed 30-minute candle closed below the Asian low. So I'm anticipating price to continue further down. I'm going to manage risk at 3288, just like I did before. This is my second attempt on the sells, right? If this doesn't work and price comes above 3288 or 3289, I close everything. 3288, I'll probably manage risk, close partial positions, and above 3289, I close everything, right? Because I'm anticipating price to respect this high, this 30-minute high, right? Because we've broken the low, we should not break the high, we should continue lower. 15-minute candle has closed here. It's a 75 pip candle. We should drop to, yeah, we should drop to around 3274. That's the plan. But if you break 328 above 3289, then the sells are invalid and price is coming up to 3,300. At that point, I'm going to call it a day, or maybe the original idea, sells from up here, buys from down here. Sells from up here, buys from down here, right? That's only if this doesn't work. And if this works and price drops down, then later on, buys from down here, probably around 10:30 a.m. EST, 10:30 a.m. EST, 11 a.m. EST, or even 12 noon EST, which is the London close, right? Buys from down here for price to push up, because we are reacting here to this level, trying to push back up. For our supports formed, for our demand has formed, and for our support has formed, trying to push back up. We're creating higher highs and higher lows, right? So the idea is for buys, that was the original idea, but buys from down here and not from here. Okay, so still anticipating price to continue to push down. Let's see if that can happen. All right, so that's going to be the end of the stream. Yeah, we've been here for about an hour 40. Yeah, hour 40 minutes. This is where I'm going to manage risk, 3288 on these trades. I'll close partial positions at 3288. And then if you break above this candle high, I close everything, right? I'm not going to hold anything, close everything. And then I'm going to call it a day. Or if price continues up here and forms 30-minute resistance, 30-minute tradable back candle close, yeah, I can look to take the sells to come down as well, right? That's even better. A lot more profit potential, 350 pip drop down, or 300 to 350 pip drop down. That's even better, right? So we're going to see what's going to happen here. If it respects the high, great, and we come down to 3274, that's a winning trade. Yeah, about 110 pips. That would be the entry, would be around here, right here, around 3285, 29, 3285, 3285, 25, and then further up close to the sniper entry. I've taken some positions down here, very low risk, but these are the correct entries. It would be 3285 and 3287, 3285, 3287. Price to come down here to 3274 and then to 3266 or 3265. Okay, stop loss above 3289. All right, so I hope that's clear. I'm going to come back tomorrow and see how this trade played out, and if any of the other two ideas that I shared, the sell idea from here or the buy idea from down here, played out. Right? All right. See you guys tomorrow. It's Monday. Don't overtrade and don't over risk. Right? There should be volume on Wednesday, Thursday. That should Wednesday, Thursday should have more volume. Should be high volume days because we have NFP on Thursday. It's just the start of, this is the end of the month, but also the first day of the week, right? So don't overtrade or don't over risk today. All right, take care. See you guys tomorrow.